Hey there and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug video. And today, we're hopping in our time machine and turning back the clock to Season 1, the place where it all began. Where we tuned in to watch this silly little show about teenagers who dress up in, frankly, ridiculous costumes, to fight against villains who wear even more ridiculous costumes. As premises go, it was a bit of an odd one. But it really did catch fire in a way that for me was completely unexpected and inspired a massive fan following. And whilst yes, a big part of that has to do with the hero characters themselves, I feel like you easily discount the villains because you only see them once and then they're gone forever. But they make up a big part of what I think makes the show so successful. Since many of them are so unique and different and have all these different powers, I think the diversity of it all got people hooked in the first place and let them endure the early ups and downs of the show as it tried to find its footing. Anyway though, since Season 1 and the villains in Season 1 both don't get much love, today I thought I'd go through the villains, from worst to best, and see whether they were actually good ideas from Gabe and have a good chance of successfully getting the miraculous. Or if they're yet another example of his smooth and shiny brain. Oh, and for some of them, I'll unleash my inner fashion guru and judge what they look like, because I can. Also, a lot of people have been asking for this video for ages, and I assumed it would be really clear-cut and easy, like when I did the miraculous rankings, but this shit is hard. And hell, I am actually second-guessing this entire thing. But since I'm no coward, here we go. So just for starters, I don't actually think any of them were trash in Season 1. Most of them are decent at the very worst, probably because they still had a lot of really easy and solid ideas when they were first writing the story. So, instead of having them ranked in exact order, I'm going to chuck them into tiers, because I'm lazy like that. But we'll start with the low tier. So, here we go. First up is Stoneheart, who looks like a clay figure designed by a kindergarten kid in art class. He's very strong, and not very fast, and not very smart. And there's really not much else to say. He's strong, and that's it. Yeah, he multiplies later on, but that's only because Ladybug did not know she had to purify the Akumas at that point in time. So basically, all he is big and intimidating. And he isn't really useful beyond that, as he gets beaten twice by two rookie heroes. No thanks, mate. And from here, we go to Anaman, who does look cool. I mean, you gotta love the violet eyes. And he can transform into any animal at will, even extinct ones, so dinosaurs. Hell yeah, Dreadnoughtus anyone? That dinosaur can grow up to 85 feet from head to tail. Good luck taking that one down, Ladybug. Or how about a T-Rex, or a raptor, or literally anything ridiculously strong and dangerous? So that's all well and good, yeah? Nothing quite like versatility in battle. So it's too bad that this fella gets tired if he spams it too much. Are you serious? Tired? And this weakness removes his advantage and makes him worthless for the most part. He needs to be able to shift forms like Lady Dragon to be a proper threat. But since he can't, he isn't. And here we go to Horrificator, who I wish I could put higher because her design is so cool. I love the B horror movie vibe she's got going on. But her only real power is spitting goop and getting bigger when people are scared. But on the other hand, she shrinks and becomes weak and pathetic when people are able to remain calm, which a hero is probably going to be able to do. If she didn't have such an obvious and glaring weakness, she would do just fine. But seriously, what's up with these powers? Why would Gabe give her such a weakness? Doesn't he choose the power? Can't he choose to make her not pathetic? Oh, Gabe! And then we come to Pixelator, who looks like rejected concept art from Blade Runner. His power is to shoot beams out of his eye that puts you inside a picture. And I'm not sure how that would help him get the Miraculouses, because he'd need to get them out of the picture and then try to steal it again. And wouldn't they just start fighting him? See ya, mate. No good. And I actually forgot this dude even existed in the first place. Was he Jagged Stone's stalker? Is that it? Ugh. Go home, you freak. And I think I'll also put Reflector in this category, because in her debut episode, I'm pretty sure her only power is to turn people into her. She doesn't mind control them or nothing. So when she does turn Cat Noir, whilst he can't do anything to fight now, she still needs to turn him back later to get the miraculous from him. So yeah, you can try and divide and conquer, but to me, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out very well. And she looks weird as hell too, so it's a no from me. And next into this tier is Puppeteer. Get it? Puppeteer? I'm sorry. Anyway, it's a cool concept with bad implementation as it requires her to have access to the dolls of the characters. If she lost the dolls, it'd be all over. Like, it's such a ridiculously big weakness to have. If she could make her own dolls, well, then it would be different, wouldn't it? She'd literally sit in the top tier for being able to instantly control the heroes whenever she needs. But she can't, because she needs the dolls. So that means she can't be top tier. She's bottom tier. She's too niche, too specific, and has such a big weakness. Roger Cop also belongs in this tier. And I mean, shooting lasers and having a flying car's good and all, but is that it? His mind control power is wasted on him because he assigns punishments instead of turning them into his army of slaves. He should use them as soldiers like every other villain who can use that type of power. Mate, this is why you fail. Although, despite that, he was still able to overthrow the Paris government very briefly. But I feel like that was more lucky than anything else. And I think we'll finish off with Mr. Pigeon here. His costume is pretty bad. His hood thing looks like a giant pink condom, so yeah, awkward. Plus his power's controlling pigeons. Ooh, I'm so scared. But you know what the pigeons are? Stupid. They're easily distracted by food. So it's like, why, Gabe? Why would you give him this power? And then why would he ever Akumatize this dude again? Let alone 71 more times. I honestly think there's next to nothing redeeming about this guy. I mean, he doesn't suck, but he's no good either. Gabe! So I would say that this is all of the low tier. So now we come to the mid tier. These are the good ones. The good ones, but perhaps not the great ones. And we can start with Gamer. Now Gamer would be really good, like top tier, but for some reason Gabe thought, oh no. I'll force him to have to kill civilians to gain experience and grow stronger and unlock new powers. That seems smart, instead of just hitting him with those sweet Akuma steroids straight away and giving him the full power up maybe? And I mean, his actual powers when he actually gets to unlock them are good, but they're wasted, because he never even gets to go to his final form because he doesn't get enough experience before he loses. Oh, Gabe, you've done it again. And speaking of needing to power up, Timebreaker. Oh, Gabe, what are you doing giving people really great powers and then locking them behind a paywall until they build up enough energy? She has the power to actually go back in time when she gets enough juice. But why even put that requirement in, Gabe? Why not just let her go back in time in the first place? Plus, she needs to build up energy to increase her speed and all, but why not give her maxed out stats from the very beginning, Gabe? Why do you make things harder for yourself, Gabe? Ugh. He hamstrings her right from the start. Plus, she needs to skate around. Like, that's not very good mobility, especially when you're up against two very acrobatic heroes. Decent costume, though. And in this category also goes Antibug, who's simply a worse version of Ladybug with a different costume, so she can't even try to trick Cat Noir into attacking the wrong one. Plus, her Lucky Charm sucks. It makes a weapon instead of the randomly useful items that Marinette's version gets. And so, without the overpowered Lucky Charm, which is the reason that Ladybug is a god tier Miraculous, this power is not as good as you'd expect. And so Antibug can sit back with Copycat, who's literally just Cat Noir, complete with time limit after using his one power. Come on, Gabe. It's like you don't want to win, mate. And completing the set is Volpina, who is basically just Rena Rouge but without a time limit. Illusions are all well and good, but only if you have a teammate with you, I feel. Which she does not. She tried, but failed. Good, but not great. And in this tier we can also put the Bubbler. Now the Bubbler does have a pretty good power up, but there's only one problem with it. Once he bubbles the hero, how the hell does he get the Miraculous back? It's the same problem as Reflector, in that capturing them's only half the issue. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Cat Noir fail at escaping before and use his Cataclysm, which would render him useless, but I feel like that only happened because Ladybug had already been bubbled earlier, so if it had been 2-on-1 from the start, it'd be a whole different story, and Bubbler would have had no chance, because he'd have to bubble them, and then get them out of the bubble, and they could just fight him again. Moving on, we also have Lady Wi-Fi in this category. Pausing, locking, fast forwarding. A lot of versatility in her power set. It's very good, but it relies on Wi-Fi signal. You literally just have to lead her through a tunnel and she is toast. So whilst I think her powers should let her be higher than this tier, her weakness gives her too much of an offset. Oh, Gabe! These obvious weaknesses, Gabe! Anyway, we can also put Mime in this category, because he can mime anything. That's good. But he can only mime things one at a time. That's not as good. So really, it makes it hard for him to compete. Yeah, he can become strong, or make a plane, or a car, or a gun, but unless he can combine his mimes, he doesn't really stand much of a chance in the long run. And then I'll finish off this tier with Dark Cupid, who is decent. More than decent. Hell, he's even able to turn people against each other, like we saw with Cat Noir and Ladybug. But once again, he has a really dank and obvious weakness. A kiss. You just gotta kiss that black lipstick, and it's done. And also, his arrows only make people angsty and ruin relationships. Why doesn't he use mind control? It would make it so much easier to get the Miraculouses, especially since you can fly. Oh well. But because his power is probably not as good as just mind control, he can't really compare to a lot of other characters that have a similar set. And this takes us to the high tier. And we'll start with Guitar Villain. Flying Dragon? Check. Variety of attacks? Check. Able to immobilize, use area of effect, blow things up, create earthquakes? Hell yeah. Plus he can use his guitar as a weapon and hit people? And the dragon can also fight? Yeah, he's a really great villain. Well deserved for top tier. And then there's Eve Illustrator, who is very versatile. Terrible costume, looks like a freak, but very versatile. Being able to create basically anything and bring it to life is very useful. Yeah, it has a weakness of you can't be in the dark, but that's a pretty specific weakness. For the most part, it's very good. Stormy Weather's next, and she can control the weather, as you might have assumed. Yeah, her Season 1 version is very good, but it's not the greatest. It's her Part 2 appearance where she can summon volcanoes that's really good. That would have made her God tier, but not today, I'm afraid. Just the high tier for you. And speaking of versatility, Kung Food has arrived. Dude has mind control and a whole host of food-based abilities, hell yeah! Plus his minions suddenly can do martial arts. That's what I'm talking about. The only problem is that he can't make new minions. They have to have eaten his soup prior to him being akumatized, so unlike the GOAT tier characters I'm about to mention, he can't make a slave army to swarm the heroes whilst also having his other powers, so sorry mate. And so here we are, the greatest of all time tier, the GOAT tier. Simon Says, Princess Fragrance, Darkblade, the Pharaoh. All of them have good powers. Darkblade and his sword skills, Princess Fragrance and her fragrance, Simon Says and his ability to actually break Ladybug's yo-yo. Hell yeah! All of these powers, they're good. They would have got them at least to the mid tier, maybe even some to the high tier. But the thing that sets these characters apart from the rabble is the mind control. You might disagree, but I feel like every episode that features a villain that's able to completely mind control any other character and create a huge slave army for the heroes to fight against feels like it has higher stakes than the regular episodes. So that's why I have to put them here, because ultimately, in Season 1, where the villains were pretty vanilla compared to some of the ones we get nowadays, these four stood out from the rest to me. Although, with the Pharaoh, and fair warning, this is a sidetrack that is unrelated to his powers, why did this man think that King Tut wanted to revive Nefertiti? That wasn't his wife. I'm pretty sure it was his dad's wife. His stepmother. Because, you know, his dad did have a couple of wives. Pretty sure Tut was born to a sister wife. Yes, his parents were brother and sister. Vomit. And then Tut married Anck-su-namun? No idea how to pronounce that, so I'm going off the movie The Mummy, because I'm 100% that's historically accurate, right? Anyway, she was actually his half-sister as well, and Nefertiti's daughter. And unlike in Miraculous, Tut died before his wife, because he was deformed from his parents' incest and all that kind of stuff. And then his sister wife married his successor, who might have also been her grandfather, or her great-uncle. Oh! This is the last time I Google ancient Egyptian royal families. So, anyway, did they just want to get rid of the incest stuff? Or did they not even bother to go on Wikipedia? Maybe it doesn't matter, but come on. Quick Google's all you need. But anyway, back on topic. That has just been my ranking of the villains of Season 1. And remember, this is just my opinion. And now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the ranking? Agree? Disagree? Think I'm an idiot? What would you change? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.